See, if you look at Max as a brand, it's always been existing, and it's a very prominent, it's a power brand, if I have to call it. And it's been around since 1999. And as far as entertainment is concerned, films are concerned, cricket is concerned, Max is a very strong and established brand, which features blockbuster films and all that. That's the perception which we've consciously built for Max. At the same time, when we came up with Max 2, there were a couple of things which we had to be careful about. Firstly, we did not want to create another Max. At the same time, we wanted to bank on the equity of Max as a brand and take it further. So, movies are not just limited to showing hit films. Movies, we have a long history of films, and we belong to a movie industry which is more than 100 years old. So there's so much of history, there's so much of legacy, there's so much of good content which has been there, which never got a very good platform to showcase itself again. Since we had a very strong library of evergreen films, we came up with Max 2 as a concept, where we ensured that these movies get the platform they deserve. They are showcased and it reaches out to people. Because if you see, even as a consumer, these movies are not available. You would not go to a DVD library and say, "Mujhe Anand ki DVD de," or you would not go to a video store or a bookstore to buy movies and say that I want the DVD or a VCD of Amar Akbar Anthony. Plus, even digitally, majority of these films are not available. So we thought that why not showcase it, program it as per the viewer's liking, and it's a channel. Max 2 as a channel is a home for a movie lover. Just scheduling films was not the solution. There were a lot of things. There are a lot of things because you have to do around these movies, which is, in technical terms, is called peripheral programming, is to enhance the viewing experience. The youth are kind of, especially the 15 to 24 segment, are kind of disconnected with the golden era of cinema. I call it the golden eras because, majority of the evergreen films comes from 60s to 90s. And they need to know what a superstar is all about. For them, a superstar is a Salman Khan or a Ranbir Kapoor. They have not experienced that, the frenzy, that madness of a Rajesh Khanna, when his car drove out of his bungalow and how women would go, it would be filled with lipstick marks. They have not experienced that frenzy. They have not seen the struggle a big star like Amitabh Bachchan went through, even though he came from a well-to-do family. But he had his struggles, he had his, his share of, hardships and everything. All those need to reach these people, because we would look at them from a lens of, oh, these people are, their lifestyle is of the rich and the famous. But no, there is a story behind that as well. The biggest problem what we face, we take a lot of pride in our cinema as a country, but somehow there's not enough archival footage, there's not enough restoration which happens. We don't invest in all that. We think about now, and that's about it, or maybe the near future. So that was a big challenge which we were facing. Plus, majority of the people we wanted to cover in those biographies, some are alive or very old, very unwell, some have passed away and things like that. So those were the challenges we faced. At the same time, we also thought that fine, even if we do biographies on these movies, every second channel, Bollywood channel or a movie channel, or even a news channel for that matter, does a feature it like that. They download images from the net, or somewhere they'll scan images and all that stuff. So it's very shabbily done. I personally found that very disrespectful to these people. So when the team said that let's do biographies, I said, why not take it a step further? These people are demigods. That's how they've been treated during their peak. Like, if now an Amitabh Bachchan or a Shah Rukh Khan, they're worshipped. We worship them. They're stars and everything. So are your Madhuri Dixit, Shri Devi, Hema Malini, Rajesh Khanna. All these people were big stars. They were demigods. So why not project them as superheroes? So when the thought of projecting them as superheroes came about, so it kind of sent down a message like, people were a bit confused that what do you mean do they need to fly, wear a cape or anything like that? I said, no, it's not about that. Superhero is a concept, you know. Since these guys are big, you know, you project them as larger than life. So we came with this concept of doing not just animation, okay, because animation is firstly it's time consuming, it's also very expensive to do. We thought, let's do something which is slick, which is different, which has not been attempted before, you know. So the consumer also gets something. So we came up with this concept of doing motion comics. What we do is that across day parts on our channel, in between two films we feature them. Now we'll be carrying them forward digitally as well. And it just gives a nice, it gets a smile to your face, you know, within those 3.5 minutes, we capture the entire essence of that star. And it's very artistically done. So from our point of view, it is not just an entertainment quotient for the consumer, it is also a tribute to these stars. What we do initially, we craft the entire sound piece, all right? We craft it, and though it's only voiceovers, there are no dialogues or anything of that sort, you know, that would probably be the second stage when we evolve from here. We weave it together, and there is a creative team, which is an internal team, which works on it. And after a lot of filtering and everything, we finalize. First, you know, the scripting stage itself takes, you know, I would say, I think majority of the scripts have been, you know, either the 8th or the 10th or the 12th draft. So that much of effort is being put in, and what kind of words we use. We want to keep it simple. We want to keep it not very heavy, so that, you know, the consumers don't understand, because you tend to, when you do something which is descriptive, you tend to use heavier words. So we didn't want to get into that zone. We wanted to simplify it so that every consumer to the lowest strata also understands what we're talking about.
सितंबर 1969 की एक दोपहर दिल्ली का एक सिनेमा हॉल नामी गिरामी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स, प्रोड्यूसर्स और वीआईपी से खचाखच भरा था। इस भीड़ में फिल्म का नौजवान हीरो भी था, पर लगातार 5 फ्लॉप फिल्में दे चुके इस हीरो की हेलो, हाय, नमस्कार के लिए किसी के पास वक्त नहीं था। फिर धीरे धीरे बत्तियां मद्धम हुई और स्क्रीन जगमगा उठी उस नौजवान की मुस्कुराहट से। 2 घंटे 39 मिनट के बाद सबके होठों पर सिर्फ एक ही सवाल था, राजेश खन्ना कहां है? हिंदी सिनेमा के पहले सुपरस्टार का जन्म हो चुका था।
It's not just about one single music piece playing, because it gets boring after a point, you know, it gets very repetitive. So we thought we'll experiment a lot with that, you know, with stills in a very, you know, motion form. We'll introduce certain sounds which kind of accentuates, which enhances the entire visual experience of the motion comics idea. Then comes the illustrations. Now obviously it starts with storyboarding and everything. We go through the entire process as per what is like, what is disliked. So we first go through a storyboard structure for the entire illustration, which is done. There's a lot of coloring to be done. There's a lot of sketching, a lot of images which have to be kind of referred to recreate that experience. A lot of images of these stars are actually not available. So we kind of recreate all of those, creating the environment. So you're talking about an era which is in the 70s. So when we show a cityscape, how was the cityscape looking then? Every detail we get into. So, you know, there is no compromise done on every aspect of this motion comic featurette which we put on Max 2.